If you're still justifying yourself in your head, if their name still tightens your body, the boundary was not clean. You're trying to use it to heal something it cannot heal. And that's where resentment survives. Very shortly after I met the love of my life, we signed a contract to buy a large horse ranch together. And that was exactly 1 month after we met. It was definitely bold, it was aligned, and it was certain. And I remember I was talking to my older brother, sharing our exciting news with him. Instead of celebration, I got dismantled. He told me in 100 different ways what an idiot I was. And his wife raged at me, "Don't trust men, never trust men." It hit me really hard, this conversation. I responded quickly and strongly. When you're ready to celebrate me and my joy, we can talk. Until then, I have nothing to say. Click. I hung up. Boundary set. Strong. Clear. Final. But after I put the phone down, the loop began in my head. Why doesn't my brother respect me? Why doesn't he trust my judgment? Why does he think I'm foolish? And that conversation replayed in my head for months, not days, but months. The boundary was necessary, but it didn't heal the wound underneath it. Not being respected, not being trusted, not being believed. That was the wound. And so the boundary I set handled the external interaction with my brother, but internally, I was still arguing. That loop, that mental courtroom was resentment. Here's the truth. Setting a clean boundary does not create mental loops. Mental loops happen when setting the boundary is trying to heal an unhealed wound. You cannot heal insecurity by withdrawing access. You cannot repair self-doubt by saying, "I'm done." You cannot resolve the need for validation by cutting someone off. That work is between you and you. Boundaries protect your external life. Healing stabilizes your internal world. If you're still replaying it, the wound is still active. And resentment lives and is compounded in that replay. This happens everywhere. You tell a friend, I don't appreciate being spoken to that way. But for days afterward, you replay it. You imagine what you should have said. You wish they understood you better. And in your mind, you fault them. That's not clarity. That's resentment. You perhaps end a relationship and you say, I deserve better. But months later, you're still rehearsing the betrayal. Now, don't get me wrong, the boundary was necessary, but it didn't heal the wound. Maybe you tell your boss, I'm not taking on that project. Then you spend a week internally justifying your decision. If the boundary was clean, you wouldn't need the internal defense. Resentment shows up as replay. Resentment shows up as inner argument. Resentment sounds like, I need them to see that I was right. And that's the hook that keeps you prisoner. What ended the loop with my darling brother was not him apologizing. It was not me forgiving him. It was stabilizing inside myself. When I genuinely knew it was right for me, when I no longer needed his validation to feel really secure, the replay stopped. And this wasn't because he changed, it was because I did. The wound healed. The boundary stayed, and the bitterness disappeared. That's the difference. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You need to stop arguing internally. If someone disagrees and you're steady inside, there's no heat. If someone disagrees and it hits doubt, you burn. Boundaries are not emotional anesthesia. They are structural alignment. But it's healing that removes resentment. If the wound is healed, the boundary feels calm. If the wound is active, the boundary feels sharp. And sharpness is often disguised bitterness. Ask yourself, am I setting this boundary from clarity? Or am I really trying to heal something inside by purporting to control something outside? If this person never changed, would I still feel at peace with my decision? If the answer is no, there's still work for you to do inside. Not with them, but with you. That's where resentment ends. Boundaries are external. Healing is internal. And if you confuse the two, you stay hooked, you stay tethered. When the wound is healed, the boundary stays, but the bitterness disappears. That's the end of resentment. If you're ready to do this work at the level of identity and sovereignty, I've linked the Wild Truth Path course below this video for you. And if you want to begin right now, I've also popped a free guided initiation to help you release resentment and anger from the body, not just from the mind. Forgiveness is the soul remembering it was never broken. Forgiveness is embodied freedom.